From my little knife I'm making. It's a little Damascus blade. I cut out a piece of brass and a piece of deer horn. Part here. Here's what it looked like when we first started. The old skull cap junk, and the other half of the horn, which is a nice little piece. That's what it looked like before I cut all the skin and hair off of it. Just kind of rounded it off and may put some kind of pin down in it. And a piece of brass, here's the other piece of brass off of it, and drilled it out. Slotted it out with a drill bit. I have some pins here set ready to insert in it. You might pull this apart here. Show you what I did here. I couldn't drill it because it's a hardened blade, so my drill bits wouldn't touch it. So I took a little cut wheel on a grinder and I just nipped it out. Didn't get it hot. Drilled it out. Slotted it with a little tiny jeweler's file. It's a little rough sanded right now, just on the belt sander. A little horn action here. It's a nice little horn. It's another one that came out of that old man's house. It was all the cigarettes he smoked made these horns turn yellow. And got a nice patina. I'm going to set the camera up. I'm going to mix up some glue and glue this together. Squeezing out equal parts of it. Mix it up here. A piece of wire, mix it up. Don't take much mixing actually. Just a little bit. Flows together pretty good. Take and put in my vise. Don't want to snug it up too tight. I don't want to crush it. I take some just plain Scotch tape and put around these holes. Not only does it help the glue not pouring out everywhere, the epoxy I should say, but it makes a little bit less cleanup. The less epoxy you got to clean up, the better you are off. Put this blade back together here. I'll smear a little epoxy in it as we're going. I may have to mix up a little more. I don't know if this is enough to fill my horn up. So I might have to continue. I wasn't going to do this today. I don't know how I got involved in this. Smear some glue down in here. Take my blade, smear some epoxy on it. Down in everywhere. This is pretty easy cleanup on the metal. It pops off with a razor blade. The epoxy kind of pops off like a scale. So I'm a little generous with epoxy on the metal. It's on the horn and stuff. I don't like too much mess. It's too much cleanup. Smear some on there. pour a little more on the outside. There we go. Fill her up a little more. Down in there. This is a 5-minute setup epoxy. Working time is 5 minutes. So that's oodles of time. There we go. I want to see it scooching up out of there. Not quite yet. A little more I'll throw in. Save a little bit for around the edges of the pins yet. And poking in the pins, putting pins in. I like those bubbling out a little bit. I missed a hole. With my tape. I press it down hard. I want to get all the air bubbles out. There we go. Now I want to glue my pins in here. Trying to speed up a little bit. There we go. Drop a pin in. Hard to go in. There we go. Come out the other side. I like to pop it out. If not, I'll take my hammer and I'll tap it in here. My other pin. Grip it down with some vice grips for pushing it in. It looks like my other pin needs to push in some more yet. There we go. This one's going in nicely. There. That was through. Bifocals on so I can see what I'm doing here. And it's going to go in a little bit more. I'm going to take it out and tap that other pin in, but everything's looking pretty good. So you got an idea what's happening here. When I get this all cleaned out and everything sanded off, I'll check back in with another leg of it. See what I got here. It's all epoxy. You see the epoxy? I like to see that oozing out of there. I'll clean that up with a rag here. And I need to tap that other pin in just a little bit yet. It's not quite the whole way through. I'll check back when I get it cleaned up a little bit.